Good morning, students. In the last class, we had stopped at explanation of the interrupt structure of the 8051 microcontroller. Let us continue with the next topic, that is interrupt vector table. Interrupt vector is the starting address of a small program called as a subroutine or the interrupt service routine, which will be executed whenever there is a occurring of the interrupt. Whenever the main program is executing, if there is an interrupt occurring, that is any device requests for service by sending an interrupt to the main program, then the main program is temporarily suspended, and the starting address of the interrupt service routine or a small program or a subroutine is stored into the program counter. So this starting address of the interrupt service routine or the subroutine or a small program is called as interrupt vector. Okay. Now this interrupt vector has its own memory locations, has its own address. The starting address of the program stored for external interrupt 0 interrupt, that is 0003H. So as you are seeing in the table, it is 0003H here. Then to get the address of the timer bar counter 0 interrupt, we have to add 8 bytes. So 0003 plus 8, that will give us 000BH. Then to get the interrupt vector or the starting memory location of the interrupt service routine for external interrupt 1, we have to add 8 to 000B. Then we'll get the 0013H, which is the interrupt vector or the starting memory location of the ISR for the external interrupt 1. Similarly for the other interrupts. Okay, here we have 5 interrupts altogether: external interrupt 0, timer bar counter 0 interrupt, external interrupt 1, then fourth one is timer bar counter 1 interrupt, and the fifth one is serial port interrupt. Now the reset is also an interrupt. Reset is also an interrupt, because when the main program is executing, if there is a reset, then the main program will be interrupted and the program counter will load the address, will load a new address, or it will load the address of the interrupt service routine. Hence reset is also considered as a interrupt. So totally, considering the reset as an interrupt, there will be 6 interrupts altogether: reset interrupt, external interrupt 0, timer bar counter 0 interrupt, external interrupt 1, timer bar counter 1 interrupt, and the serial port interrupt. Following. Next we will see what is interrupt service routine. As I told, the program that deals with the interrupt, or the program that executes whenever there is an interrupt to the microcontroller, it is called as the interrupt service routine or the interrupt handler. Okay, the program that executes whenever there is a interrupt to the microcontroller is called as ISR, in short, that is interrupt service routine or interrupt handler. The ISR executes in response to the interrupt. There are few steps in executing an interrupt. The steps are: whenever there is interrupt occurring, that is any device request for service to the microcontroller. Let us say that the microcontroller is executing the main program. Then when the interrupt occurs, the main program will be temporarily suspended. That is, the instruction that is executing in the main program will be completed. It will complete its execution. Then the address or the memory location of the next instruction in the main program will be stored into the stack memory. Suppose, say, an interrupt is executing, an ISR for the interrupt is executing, and if there is another interrupt that is requesting for service, there is another interrupt, which is requesting for service, which is interrupting the old interrupt or the present interrupt. And if the new interrupt has the higher priority than the present interrupt, then the status of the present interrupt will be saved. The status of the present interrupt will be saved. Then once the next instruction memory location is stored into the stack memory and the interrupt status is saved, then the address or the starting memory location of the interrupt service routine will be stored into the program counter, and the interrupt service routine will be started to execute. Interrupt service routine will start to execute. As the interrupt service routines or the subroutine or a small program for providing service to the requested device executes, the last instruction in the ISR, the last instruction in the interrupt service routine is the return interrupt, RETI. In short, it is called as return interrupt, RETI. This will execute. When this executes, the program counter loads whatever value it has stored into the stack memory, that is loaded into the program counter, and the execution continues from the next instruction in the main program. The execution continues from the next instruction in the main program. Okay, so this is how there are steps for executing the interrupt service routine. What are the steps in executing an interrupt service routine, or what are the steps in executing an interrupt? When the interrupt occurs, the main program is interrupted. The instruction which is executing in the main program will complete the execution. The memory location of the next instruction in the main program will be stored into the stack memory. Interrupt status, if the present interrupt is executing, and if there is higher priority interrupt which is interrupting, then the status of the interrupt will also be saved. Then later, the memory location or the starting memory location of the interrupt service routine, ISR, or a small program or a subroutine will be stored into the program counter, and the ISR will start to execute. As the ISR or the interrupt service routine executes, the last instruction in the ISR is a return interrupt, RETI. When this executes, RETI, return interrupt executes, the program will return back to the main program. That is, the whatever memory location is stored into the stack memory, that will be loaded into the program counter. It will be stored into the program counter, and the execution starts from the next instruction in the main program. Okay, and the main program executes up till completion. Okay, this is how there are certain steps in executing the interrupt service routine or the ISR. In examination, the possible question may be, explain the various steps in executing the interrupt, or which are the steps for the interrupt service routine to be executed. Then you will have to write the steps and you have to explain. Let us see a program. Let us write a program. Write a program that displays a value of y at port 0 and n at port uh, 2. It is n at port 2. It is 2 is missing. N at port 2, and also generates a square wave of 10 kilohertz with timer 0 in mode 2 at port pin P1.2, assuming crystal frequency equal to 22 megahertz. We are supposed to write a program that stores the letter y or the value of y at port 0 and the value of n or the letter n at port 2, and it should also generate a square wave simultaneously of the frequency 10 kilohertz using timer 0 in mode 2. Okay, mode 2 is auto reload timer. You have to use timer 0, and we have to generate the square wave on the port pin P1.2. We have to generate the square wave on the port pin P1.2, assuming crystal frequency equal to 22 megahertz. Assuming crystal frequency equal to 22 megahertz. Okay. So if we want to generate a square wave of 10 kilohertz frequency is given as 10 kilohertz. First, we have to find the time period. We know the time period T is equal to 1 by F, that is 1 divided by 10 kilohertz. Okay, that will give the time period. Then we have to take half of the time period, that is T divided by 2. Time period divided by 2, that will give the on period or off period of the square wave or the frequency. Okay, then T on or T off, that divided by time of the machine cycle. Okay, time of the machine cycle is given by 12 divided by 22 megahertz. 12 divided by crystal frequency, that gives the time of the machine cycle, that is 12 divided by 22 megahertz. If we do, whatever value we are getting, that is nothing but the time of the machine cycle. So T on or T off, that divided by time of the machine cycle, that gives the count value. Okay, if we want to find the starting value, then we have to subtract the count value from ff. Here we are using mode 2, it is auto reload mode, timer auto reload mode. Maximum value is ff minus the value, that is ff minus the count value, that gives the starting value to be stored into the th0 register. Okay, starting value to be stored into the th0 register. It is coming out to b6. Okay, we have already gone through these steps as to how to store the starting value in the register, right? We already taken up many programs on how to store the starting value into the th0 register. Fine. Now let us write the program for the given statement. org 0000h, that is the first instruction of the program, is stored from this memory location. Then ljmp main long jump to main. Here the interrupt vector table is bypassed. That is the ISR interrupt service routine that is written for generating the square wave, it is bypassed, because until and unless it is required, it is not executed. Okay, and it will jump to the main function. What is the main function? In program is org 0030h. This is the location for the interrupt vector. Okay, 0030h. Okay, 0030h, right? Fine. So it is the interrupt location they have taken. They considered is 0030h, where the interrupt vector, that is the main program, is written. Then in the main program, move tmod comma hash 02h, that is timer 0 mode 2. They are asked to use timer 0 mode 2, it is auto reload mode. Gate c slash t bar m1 m0, gate c slash t bar m1 m0, that is for timer 1, and lower 4 bits for timer 0. So upper 4 bits are 0 because they have asked to use timer 0. Then the lower 4 bits timer 0, gate c slash t bar m1 m0. So it is 0010 because mode 2. Okay, so 10. So it is 00000010. It is 02h. Move tmod comma hash 02h. Then move th0 comma hash 0b6h. That is the count value as we calculated at the beginning. It is 0b6h, which is stored in the th0 register. Then move ie comma hash 82h. This is IE value is 82h. We have to look at the structure of the IE register. This is the interrupt enable register. The enable all bit, this is 1. Enable all bit, this is 1. Then 1 0 0 0. The remaining 3 bits are 0. Then it is 2 0 0 1 0. Here they have asked to use timer 0 interrupt. So remaining bits are 0 except this ET0. So it will be 1 0 0 0, then 0 0 1 0. So it is 82 hex. 82 hex interrupt enable register. So move I comma hash 82h, enable interrupt timer 0. Start the timer. Set bit TR0, start timer 0. Then once the timer starts, the timer will start to count. Move P0 comma hash Y. The store the Y value or the value of Y in port P0. Move P2 comma hash N. Store the N value in port P2. Short jump to back. Keep doing this until it is interrupted. Keep doing this until it is interrupted. Once the interrupt occurs to the main program, then it will go to this ISR interrupt service routine org 0000bh. This is for the timer 0 to generate a square wave. It is timer 0 interrupt. Let us see the timer 0 interrupt. So if you look here, timer bar counter 0, it's interrupt vector or the ISR interrupt service routine starting memory location is interrupt service routine starting memory location is 0000bh, timer bar counter 0. Fine. So here we are using the memory location org 0000bh and complement P1.2. They have asked to generate a square wave on pin P1.2. So complement P1.2. So this will complement the P1.2 01100110. It will toggle, which will generate a square wave of the required frequency 10 kilohertz. Because we have stored the starting value in TH0 based on the frequency 10 kilohertz, which is asked in the program statement. Okay. Accordingly, we have stored the starting value B6. Hence, it will generate a square wave of the 10 kilohertz frequency on P1. Okay. So this is how we are writing a program to display the value of Y at port 0 and N at port 2, and also simultaneously generating a square wave using a timer 0 in particular mode. Right? They are doing two functions. That is, we are doing two jobs at the same time using the interrupt method. In examination, if the question comes such question comes, that is a program statement they are asking to perform two jobs, to perform two functions, to perform two tasks, then you have to make use of the interrupt method, or you have to make use of the interrupt in the program and write the program. Okay, let us see the next program. Write a 8051C program using interrupts to do the following. Here they have asked to use 8051C program, write 8051C program, and they have specified here. In the last program it was not specified. You have to assume and you have to write a program. Here they have asked to use the interrupts. They have specified to do the following. That is, generate a 10,000 Hz frequency on pin P2.1. We have to generate 10,000 Hz frequency or 10,000 Hz square wave on P2.1 pin using timer 0 8-bit auto reload mode, that is mode 2, timer 0. Then use timer 1 as event counter. First job is you have to generate a frequency of 10,000 Hz or generate a square wave of 10,000 Hz. Then we have to make use of the timer 1 as an event counter. That is, it has to count the 1 Hz pulse. How many pulses are occurring of the frequency 1 Hz? That is to be counted by the timer 1. It is acting like a counter. Okay, and display the count value on P0. Timer is acting like a counter and the count value should be displayed on P0 port. The pulse is connected to external interrupt 1. So this 1 Hz pulse, it is also connected to the interrupt. That means when the interrupt occurs, the count value is counted and it will be displayed on port P0 and it will interrupt the main program. Here they have asked to assume external crystal frequency is 11.0592 megahertz and the baud rate it is 9600. So when the frequency given is 10,000 Hz, first find the time period. We know that time period is the reciprocal of frequency. T is equal to 1 by f, that is 1 divided by 10,000 Hz. So find out whatever value we get. T is equal to 1 divided by 10,000. We have seen various programs of how to find the starting value, right? Then once we get the time period, T is equal to 1 divided by 10,000 Hz, that is the time period. Then we have to take half of the time period, or T divided by 2, time period divided by 2. That gives T on or T off, on period or off period of the square wave or of the frequency. Once we get it on period or off period, T on or T off, then we have to find the time of machine cycle. Time of one machine cycle, that is given by 12 divided by crystal frequency, that is 12 divided by 11.0592 megahertz. If we do, it comes out to approximately 1.085 microseconds. Okay, so that the count value whatever we are getting, that is the T on or T off whatever we are getting, that if we divide by the time of machine cycle, that is 1.085 microsecond, then that will give us the count value. Then whatever count value we are getting, if we subtract that count value from the maximum value, here they have asked to use auto reload timer, that is mode 2. In mode 2, that is auto reload timer, maximum value is ff minus the count value, that will give the starting value to be loaded into the TH0 register or into the timer register. Okay, then let us write a program, 8051C program, hash include reg51.h, s bit wave is equal to p2.1. That is, we are defining special bit p2.1, we are defining it as wave. Then also defining unsigned character counter or the count. Okay, a variable called as cnt is defined as unsigned character for the counting purpose. Then void timer 0 interrupt 1, void timer 0 interrupt 1. We are using timer 0 interrupt 1. There is a function, it is written for timer 0 and interrupt 1. That is, wave is equal to not of wave, toggling the pin. What is wave here? Wave is equal to P2.1. We are toggling the pin P2.1. That means we are generating the square wave or the frequency of 10,000 Hz. Then void timer 1 interrupt 3. We are using timer 1 interrupt 3, and for this is used to count the number of pulses, because they are given two functions. First function or the first job is to generate the frequency or to generate the square wave, and the second job is to count the number of pulses using interrupt method. Then we are using timer 1 interrupt 3 for counting the number of pulses, count plus plus, that means count is equal to count plus 1. So here it will go on incrementing the count, right? And whatever final count value is obtained for the every count value. Okay, so as it goes on, pulse is applied to the that is when pulse is applied, whatever pulses are there of the 1 Hz frequency, those are counted, and the count value is finally stored in port P0. Okay, display the value of the count of the number of pulses on port P0, right? Then coming to the main function, count is equal to 0. Set counter to 0 first. Initialize the counter in the main program. Tmod is equal to 0x42. That is 01000010. 4 is 0010. We are using timer 1 mode 2. Timer 1 mode 2. Here we are using mode 2. Okay, timer 1 we are using, right? And then 2 is 0010. For the lower 4 bits, timer 0, it is again 10. That is 2. Okay, so 0100, it is upper 4 bits. We are using counter. It is for the counter, right? Not for the timer. It is used as a counter. Gate C slash T bar M1 M0. So if C bit is 1, then it is used as a counter. So it is 01004. Then lower 4 bits is for timer 0. We are using timer 0 in mode 2. That is why it is 0010. And starting value, as I told, it is minus 46 for 10,000 Hz frequency. Okay, we understood how to find this starting value, minus 46. Okay, either the starting value is stored as minus 46, which is the count value, or the starting value is obtained by subtracting this 46 from FF. If we do FF minus the count value, that is 46, then we'll get the starting value to be stored in TH0. That is one way of storing the starting value. Or another way of storing the starting value is we have to store this value itself, minus 46 itself, in the TH0 register. Then IE is equal to 0x86. This is to enable the interrupts. Okay, that is, if we look at the IE register, and 86 is the value in the IE register. That is in IE register. 8 is 1000. Enable all is 1. Then 6 000110. We are using external interrupt 1, so it is EX1 is 1. We are also using timer 0 interrupt. That is ET0 is also 1. So the bits will be 1000, that is 8, then 0110. External interrupt 1 is 1. External timer 0 interrupt, that is timer 0 interrupt, is also 1. Remaining all bits are zeros. So it is 86H. That is why here it is considered as I is equal to 0x86, because we are using the timer 0 interrupt and also the external interrupt. Okay. Then start the timer using TR not equal to 1. Timer 0. We are using two timers here. One timer for the generation of square wave, that is generation of 10,000 Hz frequency. Another timer for counting the number of pulses of the 1 Hz frequency, right? And hence we have to start both the timers. TR0 is equal to 1, start timer 0, and TR1 is equal to 1, start timer 1. Then while of 1, wait until interrupted. That means if there is an interrupt, then only the main program will be temporarily suspended and to go to the interrupts. That is why timer 0 interrupt 1 if this is the interrupt, and why timer 1 interrupt 3 if this is the interrupt. Okay, if it is timer 0 interrupt, then it will go to this function, it will generate the square wave. If it is timer 1 interrupt, then it will go to this function and it will count the number of pulses of the 1 Hz frequency, right? So this is how the program is written. That is 8051C program using interrupts to generate a 10,000 Hz frequency on pin P2.1 using T0 timer 0 8-bit auto reload mode, that is mode 2, and also to count the number of pulses of 1 Hz frequency using timer 1 and display the count value on P0. The pulse is connected to external interrupt 1, and they were asked to assume external that is crystal frequency is 11.0592 megahertz and the baud rate is 9600. Okay, so such programs may be asked in examination. Go through these programs, right? In today's class, students, we have covered the topic on interrupt vector table. What is an interrupt vector? What is interrupt vector, right? And what is interrupt vector table? Okay. Then interrupt service routine. What is interrupt service routine? The definition of interrupt service routine. Okay, that is, it is a program that deals with the interrupt, and such programs which deal with the interrupt is called interrupt service routine or interrupt handler. Then the various steps in executing an interrupt. Okay. So many times this interrupt service routine has been asked in examination. Okay, the steps in executing an interrupt. And two programs we have taken up. The first program was to display the value y and n at port 0 and port 2, and also to generate a square wave using timer in particular mode. This was the first program. That is two jobs done at the same time simultaneously using interrupt method, right? And the second program, they have asked to we have written a 8051C program using interrupts to generate 10,000 hertz frequency and also to count the number of pulses of the 1 hertz frequency simultaneously, do both the jobs using the interrupt method. First program was the assembly program. We have written in assembly language, right? If you are not mentioning anything, then you can make use of the assembly language. You can write in assembly language. But if you are expecting to write a 8051C program, then you have to write the C program only, 8051C program only for that particular logic. Okay, like this, we have covered the topics here, right? So, students, if there are any doubts on the topic that I discussed today, right, let me come to know the doubts or your queries or questions, or if you have not understood anything, right? If you have any problem in understanding, let me know, please, so that I'll clarify your doubts. Thank you.